Good evening. You just saw our unrelenting campaign as far as NPAs is concerned. Today was day 48 of the 100-day NewsX campaign, and you saw the story of how one of India's leading sports apparel manufacturers in fact went bust, leaving a trail of unpaid loans in its wake. And the investigation emerges as an example of how when things start going wrong, desperate owners start becoming financial criminals. If auditors, of course, had done their jobs, perhaps the NPAs could have been caught earlier and kept smaller. This, you just heard what really happened. Let me open this up with a discussion of what really can happen. But first up, I want to bring in our reporter, Simar Chawla, who, of course, undertook this entire investigation, conducted that sting to really find out and try to get to the bottom of this entire mess that Adigate International has really created. Simar, first of all, you went to that location, that office address, which obviously doesn't have that company working out of there anymore. There's a guard who said that, you know, this address didn't have the company operating at least for the last couple of years. Talk to us about when was it that the company had stopped operations, or was this just completely something that was only on papers? Talk to us about the fact that there is massive discrepancy that we're really talking about here.
Well, Gauri, the company we're talking about here is Adigate International, which was doing well in the market, was a leading manufacturer in the sportswear and other bulletproof jackets, and was a a reputed company in the market.
But it had marquee clients, yes.
Exactly, and then suddenly some things went wrong, and then finally it duped the banks for more than crores of rupees, 38 crore rupees from a single bank of SBI. OBC, they own OBC around 23 crore rupees. The investigation has started, actions have been taken, but
in fact, we have that figure right here. Adigate International, State Bank of India, the Kolkata branch. These are, of course, the directors, Sanjay Khanna, Sandeep Khanna, Prannath Khanna and Anju Khanna. And this is about 39 crore 70 lakh rupees. That is the figure that Simar was in fact talking about. Yes.
Well, exactly, the reasons why this company was bankrupt and, duped the banks, we'll discuss it later. But talking about the ground reality, we went for a reality check, and what we found that the company shifted from there for more than 5 years back. And we had a word with the security guard and one of the local also, who says that the people like you visit here on a regular basis. Some of the police officials also visit here. This clearly shows that, the people, whether it be bank officials and the police authorities.
So people are hot on Adigate International's promoters' tails, right? They are hot on the tails of the promoters of this company, but their pursuit, of course, is not leading to anything fruitful, right?
Well, exactly, and no one actually know about the whereabouts of the company and their owners. What we have learned that he has been arrested, but the money has not been recovered by a bank, by the bank officials. This is the main issue that we have been seeing all of our, the companies we have been doing in the NPA campaign, that the money is not recovered at all. And the people also, told us that the people used to visit here and also visit here on a regular basis. They don't have any idea of the company, and some other companies operating from there. But the main issue is that the money that has been due by the banks, worth of crores of rupees has not been recovered still by the banks.
It's very interesting that some of the details that we really found out in this investigation, I'll come to you, Simar, in just a bit. I want to bring in Ravindra Gupta, who's a banker, and also Madhaw Anand, who's an economist. But first up, I do want to point out that detail right here about how the company, some of its sister concerns as well, Adigate Apparel and Accessories Private Limited, on the ROC website, we found out that the status says stricken off. And that is an extremely serious thing. You say that the status of the company is that it's been stricken off as far as ROC records are concerned. And that is something I do want to ask Mr. Ravindra Gupta. Sir, the ROC records that we've accessed point out that the company, its sister concerns, all of them have been stricken off from the ROC records. How serious is this?
No, it is really very serious. Once the company, the bank registered their charge in the register of companies, as well as the properties, those are mortgaged to the bank, that record, they also put a charge in the revenue record also. But in this case, if this has been stricken off, so this is very serious, basically, that what the register of companies were doing at this moment. So,
so it's no more a registered company. So if it's not a registered company, were banks even evaluating the possibility of giving loans to this company if it was not registered anymore? Why were banks not raising an alarm and saying what happens to the outstanding loans that have been extended to this company? Those are very, very serious questions, sir, we're talking about.
No, the loan was granted to this company in 2011.
Right.
And they were very good leaders in the this apparels and this
Yes.
this thing. And moreover, they had the good market. And definitely there must be some market situation or some business problems that might have not able to fulfill their export orders, as well as the demand has must have diminished in the market. That's why this is the position of this company. This apparently they gone into the NPA.
Okay, Madhaw, Anand, let me bring you in on this status, the investigation that we've brought here on day 48 of our campaign, throwing up very, very serious questions that I asked Mr. Gupta as well. The fact that this company is no more a registered company as far as ROC is concerned, the fact that banks do have a fair amount of outstanding loans to this company. One single bank, SBI's one single branch itself has over 38 crores, close to 38 crores as far as its outstanding to this company is concerned. What happens in a situation when a company is no more registered? What happens to the recourse that banks have or do not have in a situation like this?
See, these days, government of India is facing a big challenge while tackling the NPA issues. And most of the issues, this is my personal opinion, most of the issues and NPA issues existed in India because of government policy instability, I can say. I can give you few examples in the steel industry or power industry. Some company has put up a power plant on based on the coal allocation. Okay, Supreme Court came in picture. Supreme Court cancelled the coal block. Okay, company has taken a loan from the bank to put up a power plant. Now power plant is in the, that means, final stage, on the commissioning stage, and now the Supreme Court came into picture. Supreme Court saying, okay, this coal
No,
block.
but sir, this is not the case. The Supreme Court cancellation of
what I'm
coal
saying,
block
I'm talking about
allocations.
generic NPA cases. Government policy instability. Government policy
Sir, there is no
instability.
instability of government policy here.
No, here
What is the instability
few
here?
cases are very genuine. Like this case is very genuine, and the promoter has done fraud. I'm not denying for that. The same case with the Nirav Modi. The same case is with the Vijay Mallya.
That is what I'm asking, sir.
In this case, the promoter has done a fraud.
So what I'm asking is that the banks, the loans that they have outstanding to these enterprises, where the promoter is now has been arrested by the CBI, investigation is currently on, there is no headway, some auctions have also been done. In fact, we do have that auction notice here, if I can just put that out. The amount of loan that they were looking to recover was 17.33 crore. That is the amount that is outstanding to Oriental Bank of Commerce. And what they were really looking to recover from this auction was, in fact, as you can see, a paltry 1.66 crore rupees. That's property number 2. Property number 1, they were looking to actually get 1.59 crore rupees. So you have, look at the outstanding, look at what the auction is going to do. If this auction is not a success, then obviously you bring down the price further. Then it's a case of where do you really cut your losses. That's not the point. But the point is that I'm asking is that you reach a situation like this as far as banks are concerned. How do you now get out of it?
And who is responsible for that? Bank has not done due diligence before it was giving or loan to any company. In this case also, it seems that government, the bank has, the RBI has, and the concerned bank has not done it. And it's a totally fail of the banking system in India. And that's why that means the promoter has, that means now is a defaulter, that means, and they have escaped and whatever that in this case. So it's a totally, that means, government policies, banking sector has not done the due diligence in this case, and because of this reason, the government is in loss now. As far as the NPA and the auction of the assets are concerned, I don't think the government is going to get anything, that means, from these auctions. We have seen the lot of other cases also. In the, whether it is a Bhushan Steel or whether it is other NPA cases which is under the NCLT, I don't think the government is going to, that means, get, that means, 100% recovery
Sir,
from the...
even in the case of, in fact, this is something I want to point to our viewers before I go to the banker on the panel who has a tough time defending Indian banks, and I'll also go across to Simar. But it's important to point out to our viewers that even in the case of Kingfisher, when SBI, which of course has the largest exposure to Kingfisher, was really trying to recover some of the money, it put a Kingfisher villa on sale. The final price at which, in the third auction, in the third sale, when the villa was actually sold, it was not even a third of the original price. It was a little about 380 odd crores, which was the first price that SBI had set, and the final price at which the villa was finally sold in Goa was, if my memory serves me right, was somewhere sub 80 crore rupees. So look at what banks actually put on the books as far as the asset value is concerned, look at how much the asset actually recovers. Mr. Gupta, how do you justify the clear lack of due diligence that has been done by banks, case after case, case after case? Is it time that we should be now talking about an SOP that should be in public domain, whether it is on the RBI website or whether it is on the Finance Ministry's website, that these are the 7 things or the 10 things or the 17 things that banks have to do? And if there is any, if they are falling short on any of these parameters, they have to be taken to cleaners. Look,
credit is the core activity of the banking system. We cannot stop providing credit to the public, to the borrowers, to the proprietors or the corporates, whosoever. And credit depends on the character, capital and capacity of a person. Due diligence is always taken at the time of sanctioning the loan, at the time of assessment, at the time of appraisal. And you just quoted the case of the Kingfisher. Basically, at that time, the properties rate might be very high, market condition, and moreover, this is a distressed sale. Now the properties rate has literally gone down.
So every auction will be a distressed sale, sir. Yeah. Every auction, this auction is also going to be a distressed sale. It is the same logic in every auction.
Presently, see the market situation where the prices of property has gone down.
That will be the logic in every auction,
yeah, exactly,
sir. It has to be the same. So every time banks allocate a certain value to an asset, they are not going to recover that.
And there is a system, every year there is a renewal and the appraisal of the collateral properties, those are mortgaged to the bank, and revaluation is being done in all the cases. And depending on that, then the drawing power of the these borrowers is being set.
All right, Madhaw, Anand, respond to that. You had a point to make.
See, my suggestion is government, the NCLT and before announcing the non-performing assets, government should, that means, give a promoter for the restructuring of loan. Because when you, that means, announce, that means, any assets under the NPA or NCLT, it will be very difficult for the government to, that means, get a 100% bad loan in the system. So government should force, first of all, to the promoter. Government should give a, that means, some kind of restructuring facilities to the promoter, and they can, that means, give some kind of forcefully, that means. Then in that case, government can hope for the base and hope for that 100% bad loan will come into system. But NPA and NCLT, honestly, I'm telling you, I have gone through with the several cases, and I don't think that means government is going to get 100% recovery from the.
No, you can't even get 50%. You can't even get 5%.
You are also on the same.
Get 10% of
you are also on the same page.
Sir, if you talk about even restructuring of loans, everywhere restructuring happens because no bank really wants to put NPAs on its books. Because the moment you put NPAs on their books, again, something that need to be pointed out to our viewers, you need to allocate that much amount of capital on your books. So you don't want to recognize loans as NPAs because that will mean more allocation of capital that has to be done as far as the banking basics are concerned. Simar, I want to come to you very quickly. You, of course, conducted that sting. You saw the fact that the company doesn't even exist on papers for all practical purposes because as far as ROC website is concerned, it's been stricken off. It doesn't exist as far as physical existence is concerned. The promoter is behind jail. Talk to us about where does the CBI investigation really stand? How long has it been since the case has been going on? Do we expect any headway as far as these investigations are concerned?
Well, Gauri, CBI has done their part. They have done the investigation. You know, the owner of this company is behind the bars. The investigation is, complete. But, let me bring the focus to, we are talking about the role of the bank officials. Let me talk about the investigating part of this very story. CBI has arrested the owner on a loan of rupees 23 crore that he owes to this OBC bank. And he used forged documents in this very case. Benami accounts were being obtained by using, the KYC of employers. So there is complete violation of the rules and the guidelines. Also, let me bring my the attention to one of the very important point that the company was doing well. Suddenly we saw that the company has defaulted of more than hundreds of crore rupees. That means the auditors were not doing their part, well. This again starts the debate of the independency of, the auditors. We have seen that how the auditors have been
Mr. Gupta,
appointed.
Yes, very relevant point. Mr. Gupta, you want to comment on this, that case after case, whether it's high-profile cases like Satyam or not so high-profile cases like this investigation that we've done, role of auditors, the independence of auditors, and the fact that they continue to not have any scruples of conscience, sign on balance sheets which may be dubious, is that a very, very serious concern as far as India's corporate governance is concerned?
Yes, true. basically that auditor part of this banking channel that really need to be robust at this moment. And auditors are not fairly doing their job better as on date. And this thing has also been pointed out by the government of India, and in fact they are also going to create a regulatory body on the auditors from this year, probably in the coming time it is going to be happen. But till date that Institute of Chartered Accountants has been controlling the audit part of the this banking channel, and they give the directions. And RBI is also have a very big role for the audit of the banking system, and there different type of audits are available. One at the branch level, this is a internal audit, then the bank level, the statutory audit, and RBI audits.
Madhaw, Anand, very quickly, running out of time, 30 seconds. What do you think can be done in a situation like this?
See, our banking system is not 100% proof. I can say even not 50% proof. So there is a lot of loopholes. There is over-invoicing issues also, and because of that, money from India is going to abroad. So banking system should be 100% proof. Government will should have to think that means on these issues, and that some kind of committee should be formed. And that means and there should be a clear instruction to the banking sector to please do due diligence before that means giving loan to any company.
All right, we need to end this. Robust banking system is the backbone for any economy. Indian economy is no different. As our investigation day after day points to you, the sheer lapses that have really occurred as far as granting of loans over the years is just shocking. What will it take for our policy makers to really do a course correction? Really remains to be seen. Thanks so much for watching this special show on NPAs with me, Gauri Dwivedi.